Hi everyone! Today I'll show you how I won 3 medium Pompompurins. So here I popped into this machine and I found one in a pretty good position in a pretty promising claw machine. So what do I consider a good position? So firstly, when I look at the prize, I assess whether the prize can easily fall down. So Toreba helpfully has a display prize in which you can look to see how big it is, and then you can compare to the bars and look at the side view and see, can it easily fall down, or is it something that's really narrow and you would have to have a really hard down and always pushing it through the bars at the end? So if it can fall several ways, it passes. So in this case, the prize, Pompompurин, can fall either straight down, or he can actually, if you rotate him on his side, he can also fall down. The space is wide enough between the two bars, so it passes. Secondly, if you, of course, look at the current position, because, oftentimes you don't want to start playing when the prize is in its original position, because it could be a lot of plays, even though it may look really easy. So it does look like someone played it, and I think it's in a pretty good position, and I think it only would take a few plays to win it. And thirdly, the last assessment I make is on the claw itself. So this one has a pretty wide claw, which is really good for a big prize such as this one. And the claw tips, I'm not sure if you can tell, they are wide and flat. So generally my experience is that they can grip and lift a little bit. So, and also they're pretty good at pushing. So let's get started with my first play. So here I wanted to move the back plastic so that the prize would be facing more toward the camera, and put him in like a better position so that I can push him down. So that worked and lifted him a little bit. So I needed to try it one more time to kind of adjust him a little bit more. So I had really good lift, and it did move him a little bit. So I wanted to go back again because it wasn't enough movement for me. The whole point was to help get his foot off of this bar so that he'd be in a good position to fall. So it wasn't really working from the back anymore. So I tried going through the front plastic, and that worked pretty well. So there wasn't much plastic in the front of the bar anymore, and it helped shift him the other way. So pause just to note, if you're new to Toreba, a beginner tip is to make sure you pay attention to the prizes that have this plastic on them. So the plastic is very, very, very important. It could be your friend, it could be your enemy. So it could be a friend that you can use the plastic to help maneuver the plushie like I am doing right now, because sometimes it's really hard to get a grip on the parts of the plush that are closer in, versus like you can actually grip the plastic corners over here and over here to get it to move. And of course, it can be your enemies that if you jab at the plastic at certain areas, it will do absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's continue. So I'm going for the back plastic again, hoping it will move him a little bit more. And it does! So it's very promising. And next, I want to move, there's a little bit of plastic just on this little corner here. I definitely want to lift it up, which it did. So there's a lot less sitting up here. So I still felt like I needed to shift him because his foot was still sitting on this bar. And that did very little. So since he's pretty much within the bars, I thought I would try stabbing him to see what would happen. And it actually made a huge difference. It was able to push his foot off of the bar, so he's in really good position because there's pretty much no piece that's on top of either bar. And yay! So that took 9 plays. I thought it would take like 4 or 5, so it was definitely not easy. So I popped back here again and found that he was in a pretty good position as well. He was in his side position. So I definitely went for the plastic again, because you definitely have to move this plastic so that he can fall. So you'll notice that a lot of the prizes do have this corner plastic and it's pointed down. Often you would have to help pull it up on at least one side so that the prize can help fall. So I was like, let me try my luck and try pushing him now because there's very little plastic on this top portion. Maybe he'll start falling. But nope, looks like now there's more plastic. The air has readjusted and put it back over the bar. So now I have to go and pull the plastic back up again. But you can kind of see he's falling a little bit. So let me try pushing using the right claw. And it looked like he moved a little bit. So it looks very promising and I wanted to try it again. And he is, yeah, that was a really good push. It looks like the claw broke, but then it's back up again. So then I was like, okay, pushing works, let's keep going. So close! I was really hoping he would fall, but, and again. Yay! So this one was a little bit less. It was 8 plays versus 9, but it was definitely like a lot of progress in each turn, so I kept going. So this one, so I popped in here again, and one person was really working on trying to win this one. So I saw them just before here. They tried to push him over here with the right claw, which ends up trying to force him to go this way, like in the air, like this way, versus right now, because there's very little plastic on the sides, that you want to push down so that he will slip through and not want to create more friction against the plastic, because he's pretty snugly in between the two bars because his width is pretty wide. And yay! There goes my third one. If you like that video, please